some prayers and then we'll start the Bhagavad Gita reading. मज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुपौर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणललितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् श्रीगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्तांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we are reading this chapter 4 called Transcendental Knowledge, and we finished until text 11. Okay. So here so far, just to revise, Krishna starts this chapter with informing Arjuna that I instructed this science to Vivaswan, sun god, and Vivaswan instructed to Manu, father of mankind, which is Lord Ram's dynasty, Ikshvaku, and the Manu in turn taught to Ikshvaku. So then Krishna says that since this knowledge was coming through chain of disciplic succession, it was understood by the people. But what happened? This is like almost 120 million years ago, it was told. So it got lost because the succession was broken. So it appears to be the lost. The signs appear to be lost, but actually it's there. So, but very limited. Krishna is saying 5,000 years ago to Arjuna in the battle of Kurukshetra. This is what conversation is happening. You should remember it. So Krishna is telling, I'm telling you again, Arjuna, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. And therefore you can understand this mystic of this mysticism, this science. Then Arjuna asks question that Vivaswan is senior by birth to your my Lord Krishna. Then how I should understand that you told this to Vivaswan, who is pretty senior than you, right? So in text 5, Krishna started speaking about his nature. He said, my dear Arjuna, you and I took many births, but I remember all of them, but you forgot. So Krishna is essentially saying, Arjun, when I told this to Vivaswan 120 million years ago, you were there, but you don't remember anything. But I remember everything. Why he remembers? Because he is unborn. His body doesn't die, doesn't take birth. Though it appears that he is taking birth through Devaki in this world 5,000 years ago. Deteriorate. He's telling that his body does not deteriorate. And although I am the Lord of our living entity, I still appear in every millennium as my original transcendental form. Then in 7th, he is saying, why I come? Because somebody can ask, then why do you come? So he's saying, yada yada hi dharmasya. Whenever and wherever they decline religious practice, which is dharma, when people don't perform their duty rightly, then I come. Why I come? That's the eighth sloka. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants who are creating disturbance. And that's what happened in Mahabharata. And to reestablish the religion. I appear myself. So he's saying, I come myself. It's not that I'm sending anyone. Millennium after millennium, in every yuga. So 9th is saying, anyone who understands this, last week we were talking, My appearance and disappearance, leaving this body, does not take birth again in this material world, but goes back to me. How does that happen? That is 10th sloka. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me. Many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me. So just by knowing Krishna, just by understanding Bhagavad Gita, that's his activity. He's saying many people have already passed through this. So you should not doubt this, what I'm telling you. And they all attain transcendental love for me. That then this is the last one we read last week. He's saying, all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respect, O son of Pratha. So Krishna is saying, doesn't matter what path you take, but everyone is coming to me. So that's sloka 12. Today we are starting, and we'll see what more Krishna is saying. Okay? All right. Kanchanta karmana siddhim siddhi yajanta devata. You can repeat after me. I cannot hear anyone. Repeat it or क्षिप्रं हि मनुष्ये लोके
चित्रं हि
मनुष्ये लोके
सिद्धा भवति कर्मजा.
सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get result from the fruitive work in this world. Misconception that the god or demigod of this material world and men of the less intelligence, although passing as a great scholar, take these demigods to be various forms of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the demigod are not different from forms of the God, but they are gods different part and partial. God is one, and the part and parcels are many. The Vedas say, Nityo Nityanam, God is one. Ishvara Parama Krishna, the Supreme God is one, Krishna. And the demigod are delegated with power to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, with different grades or material power. They cannot be equal to the Supreme Lord Narayana, Vishnu, or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that the God and the demigod are on the same level is called an atheist or pasandi. Even the great demigod like Lord Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Viranchinutam. Yet curious enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism and zoomorphism. Iha Devata denote a powerful man or demigod of this material world, but Narayana, Vishnu, or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above or transcendental to material creation. Even Sripada Sankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalist, maintains that Narayana or Krishna is the beyond this material creation. However, foolish people, Hritagyana, Hartagyana, worship the demigod because they want immediate results. They get results, but do not know that results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. He has no need to worship the paltry demigod for some immediate temporary benefit. The demigods of this material world, as well as their worshipper, will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. The boon of demigods are material and temporary. Both the material world and their inhabitants, including the demigod and their worshipper, are bubble in the cosmic ocean. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things such as material opulence for purchasing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, people worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshipping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. All of them are therefore knowing to the so-called leaders or big guns in order to achieve temporary boons. They indeed achieve such things. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for permanent solution to hardship of material existence. They are all after sense enjoyment. and to get a little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worship empowered living entities known as demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they worship some powerful living entity. Hare Krishna. So, how to understand this one? So, Prabhupada is telling an example. All of us can relate to this one. So, suppose you are driving in your car and you have a kid with you in your car, okay? And a police stops your car, and you are a very rich person. You are very influential, very rich, and a police stop your car. You have to stop the car because you don't know what is the reason. Everybody stop the car when police is asking. Stop the car. You stop the car. So you are sitting. Your kid is sitting in the car, and police constable ask you to stop the car. You stop the car. Now your kid will be thinking, "Oh, this police constable is so powerful that even my father has to stop the car." Because kid is just, kids are generally terrified with police. When they see the police, they, oh, police, 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 right? So they think, oh, police is bigger than my father, because even my father is very big officer or minister, but because police asked to stop the car, my father stops it. Therefore police is bigger than anyone. That's why in India the parents always say, oh, police will come, police will come, I'll call police if you don't. So they terrify kids. So kids take it real. But in actuality, the father knows that this constable is nothing. I'm just giving respect and I'll move on. This constable will salute me. But the kid is thinking, no, this constable is more bigger than my father. Okay. Why? Because the kid doesn't know what is the position of the father, what is his position, what is position of the constable. So likewise, when we worship demigods, lot of demigods, 84 crores. What happens when we worship? We think that they are the everything because they are giving me something, like a constable. Constable stop the car, so you're thinking, oh, the demigods are supplying me everything, so let me worship them. Like the kid is thinking police is bigger than his own father, who is very rich, very influential, very powerful. And because he doesn't have knowledge of his own father, he's thinking, oh, police is everything. Likewise, demigods are administrators. They are managing the whole cosmic affairs. And we worship them because we think, oh, everything what being supplied to me, I want. And that power go to, Mata Rani, go to Shiva, go to so many demigods. Why? Because people want specific things. You need knowledge, go to Saraswati, this, you go to, it's like different government departments. If you want water, you go to water department. You want electricity, you go to electricity department. You want so many things, you have to go to different departments, right? Likewise, demigods are managing different departments, and we, since we don't know who is our father, how rich he is, how influential he is, what is my position, we think demigods are everything. These devatas are everything, and I should worship them. So we get some result. Definitely, there is some benefit, but since this is a long topic, it will come in upcoming chapter. But just to give you, as you know, anything which is created will be destroyed, right? For example, you had a phone 5 years ago. In 5 years, the phone went bad. So it has to go recycle, trash. So it was created brand new and you purchased just on the day of launch, the first piece. And then after 5 years, it is trash. Likewise, anything created in this material world has an expiry date. Manufacturing date, expiry date. And anyone who manufactured the phone will also die. The person who manufactured the phone will also die. The company will also finish in 100 years. Who knows how long the company will continue. So anything which is material, which is demigods, even the boons they give, the benediction they give, the benefit you receive will be temporary because the demigods are also temporary. anyone who is temporary cannot give you a permanent solution, because if or he or she new permanent solution, then they themselves become permanent first before giving you something permanent, right? So therefore, in short, to understand that worshipping demigod and getting result is temporary. However, on the other hand, if you worship, Krishna will tell you next slokas, that if you worship Krishna, your father who was sitting in your car, then your father can save from all kind of police constable. It's not just one constable. He can save you from water department, tax department, revenue department, because your father controls all the departments, right? If your father, if you know that your father is so big, and especially Krishna will say, Maya adhyakshena prakriti surya setya sacharacharam. Under my direction, this whole cosmic manifestation is working. So of course, he is the supreme director because he's saying Maya adhyakshena. Adhyaksha means director, direction. Okay. So let's go to this sloka, text 13. Who wants to read this 13 one?
Hare Krishna.
You can read, Mataji.
चतुर्वर्ण्या मया शस्त्रा गुना कर्मा विभाष्य सस्य कर्णा कर्तराम अपि मां विद्या अकर्तराम अवयायाम. According to the three modes of material nature, the world associated with them, the four divisions of human society, are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet a non doer, being unchanger. Purport. The Lord is the creator of everything, and everything is born from Him. Everything is sustained by Him, and everything after inhalation rest in him. He is therefore the creator of four divisions of the social order. Being with the intelligent class of men, technically called Brahmins, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness, their being situated in the mode of passion, the mercantile men called Vaishyas are situated in the mixed mode of passion and ignorance, and the sadhus, a laborer class, are situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of his creating the four division of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions because he is not one of the conditioned soul, a section of whom from God society, human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society. But to elevate men from the animal society, the above mentioned division are created by Lord for systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of particular men towards work is determined by the mode of material nature which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to the different modes of material nature, are described in the 18th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmins. Although Brahmins by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, the supreme absolute truth, because most of them approach only to the impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Krishna. But a man who transcends the limit knowledge of the Brahmana and reaches the knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna becomes a person in Krishna consciousness. And in other words, a Vaishnava. Lord Krishna consciousness include knowledge of all different planetary expansion of Krishna, namely Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, etc. And Krishna is transcendental to this system of four divisions of the human society, a person in Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider the division of the community, nation, or species. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so here Krishna is saying चतुर्वर्णम मया सृष्टम गुणकर्मा विभाग सह तस्य कर्तारपि मां विद्वत् akarmat avyayam. So, all of you know, after independence, India tries to create casteless society. And the Western society tries to create classless society. Is there any difference, class and caste? The classless society and casteless society. So in India, this was Kshatriya, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There was very strict, rigid divisions, and people were exploiting based on birth. You know, by birth, they were saying by birth everyone is in different classes. Caste. In foreign countries, there were four classes: the intelligent class, the administrator class, and then the mercantile class, and the laborer class. So the movement in Western countries is to create classless, and India is casteless, but both have failed. You know why? Why they are failing? If this was real, a caste was real a problem, then it's been 75 years in India, but since independence from British, we could have become casteless. But actually, government keep on creating new class caste. You know, they abolish this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra technically, but then they created reservation, general class, OBC, and then how many? Now they have economically weaker section, and then they have scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. They created another division in society by creating these artificial things, right? And then capitalism created totally different problem. Capitalism, what happened? Just 200, 300 people in a country control whole money, whole country almost, right? Capitalism. Like only 10 companies, 20 companies control the whole country. You know that? You could have realized during COVID, you were seeing only few companies could control the whole country. We know that. Like in India, Ambani, Tata, Birla, Adani. If you just take name of top 50, they control almost 70% of the economy of India. So it's industrialism, which means 5, 10 people control the whole country, right? So it became same thing problem in US or Western countries. The capitalism controls whole money, and everyone is laborer. Only few people are rich kings. They are like kings, you know. They are billionaires, at least billions of dollars they have, right? So why it's failing? Because they try to create all this based on birth. Suppose somebody is very rich, they will inherit the money from the father, and they become rich by birth. It's not that even if you're born rich, you have to qualify to become rich. That rule is not there. If you're rich, you inherit the money by birth in India or anywhere in the world. Okay. So this by birth is a corruption. Why? Because Krishna is saying Chatur Varna Maya system. I created four division of society. But how? Guna and karma. Based on nature and work associated with them. Guna and karma. And he says, I created this. So this will still exist because we need this. We will learn soon why we need four division of social structure. But somebody can say, oh, Krishna is also comes under one of the system because some in India, some people say, oh, Krishna is born in a Yadava family. He's OBC. You know, people, there's so many things. You know, he's Yadav, you know, Yadu Bansi. But that caste Yadav is different than Yadu. Yadu Bansi comes in Moon dynasty. Okay. It has nothing to do with that. But they patronize Krishna to be a caste. Oh, he belongs to this caste. He belongs to mercantile class. He belongs to Vaisyas. Okay. The Marwaris and the businessmen will say, the Gujaratis, oh, he's a Vaisyas. He's a businessman class. His father was trader or cow and trading, right? So, but Krishna says, I am creator of the system, but you should know that I am not under all this system. That's what Prabhupada explained. And we'll understand why. So let's read the next sloka. Text 14. Who wants to read? Have to unmute and then read. Kamini Mataji, I think, want to read. Seems like. Mataji, you have to unmute. Kamini Mataji.
Okay. Nama karmani limpanti, name karma phale spraha, iti mamayo bhijanti, karma bhirana sabhadyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruit of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the furtive reaction of purpose. As there are constitutional law in the material world stating that the king can do no wrong, or the king is not subject to the state law. Similarly, the Lord, although He is the creator of this material world, is not affected by the activities of the material world. He is He creates and remains aloof from the creation, whereas the living entities are entangled in the furtive result of the material activities because of their propensity for lording it over material resources. The proprietor of an establishment is not responsible for the right and wrong activities of the workers, but the workers are themselves responsible. The living entities are engaged in their respective activities of senses gratification, and these activities are not ordained by the Lord for advancement of the senses gratification. The living entities are engaged in the work of this world, and they aspire to heavenly happiness after death. The Lord, being full in Himself, has no attraction for so called heavenly happiness. The heavenly demigods are only His engaged servants, and the proprietor never desires the low grade happiness such as the worker may desire. He is aloof from the material action and reason. For example, the rains are not responsible for different types of vegetation, although they help vegetative growth. Vedic Smriti confirms that fact as follows: Nimitta matram ivasahu srajaya nama sarga karmani paradhana karani bhuta yato vai sirja saktayah. In material creation, the Lord is only the supreme cause. The immediate cause is material nature, by which the cosmic manifestation is made visible. The created beings are of many varieties, such as the demigod, human being, and the lower animals, and of all of them are subject to the reaction of their past goods and bad activities. The Lord only gives them the proper facility for such activities and regulation for the modes of nature. But he is never responsible for their past and present activities. In the Vedanta Sutra 2.134 is confirmed. Vaisamya nirgarnanya na spake satatat. The Lord is never partial to the living entities. The living entities is responsible for his own acts. The Lord only gives him facility through the agency of material nature. the external the external energy. Anyone who is fully conversant with all the intricacies of his law of karma or figurative activities does not become affected by the result of the activities of his activities. In other words, the person who understands this transcendental nature of the Lord is an experienced man in Krishna consciousness, and thus he is never subjected to the law of karma. One who does not know transcendental Lord and who thinks that the activities, as are the activities of the ordinary living entities, certainly become entangled himself in furtive reaction. But one who knows the supreme truth is a liberated soul fixed in Krishna consciousness. Jai Guruji.
Thank you.
Should I
No,
read
no.
more?
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Welcome.
So, in
Welcome.
this sloka, Krishna is saying, this is, we are reading people who just joined, and the Arjun and Sarvesh Prabhuji. So, we are reading this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, 14th sloka. And the conversation is that Krishna is saying that there is no work that affect me, nor do I aspire for fruit of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in fruitive reactions of work. So here we are, Prabhupada is saying, so nowadays, if you are following the news, in America, they are going to make a new president. They have elected a new president, Trump. The Trump is sentenced in many court cases, the money laundering, money cases. He is involved in so many things. Now, when he became president, today was the hearing, and the court says, "Oh, you will not be punished for anything. You're no guilty." Why? And second thing, I'll give you food of thought. Even somebody may have committed, like just before this in America, the Biden was the president, and just before in December, just before his tenure was getting over, his son was implicated in drug charges, convicted, and then he pardoned his own son. Pardon, you are out of all the implications. So president. So if the material, this material world, these corrupt leaders can pardon themselves against the laws of the state, how come God can get implicated in we think, oh, Krishna is also if then did you ever hear any politician or big person is got into the jail? Very rare. Even if they have all the charges, they will never go into the court or jail. They are above the laws because they are powerful. Any powerful person is above the law. The law is for general public. Laws are for workers, for laborers, people, right? Isn't it? What do you think, everyone? Isn't that the experience here in this world? What do you see,
Yes, Prabhuji.
right? Other people, what they think. Let's have little interaction. Or you can switch on the camera. That would be nice. I can see. I can just see Hital Mataji in sometime Kamini month. What do you think, Ramchand, Arjun?
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
That's true, right? Like our CEO creates a rule, but if CEO violates the rule, what will happen? He will just quit the job, but he will never be caught into anything. He just leave the company and get a new company. Get to the new company. But if we do it, then we will be so many court cases. So many things will happen with us. We have to return the money. We have to give everything back and whatnot, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't it? So likewise, since Krishna is creator of everything and he doesn't do mistake, he will say, it's not that in our leaders they do mistake, they implicate, they relieve themselves. No. God means one who does perfect, everything perfect. That's why in his constitution, the president is considered like a god of your country. The president can pardon himself on anyone, even up to the death sentence. If you go to president, he can do pardon mercy, pliya, and they will pardon you, then you are relieved of all the things you committed. It is a rule. Okay. So we give so much power to one person in a country to do whatever they like because we trust the person. We trust that anyone who become prime minister or president will be genuine and nice. Won't be like a dog. You'll expect them to behave honestly, morally, ethically, right way under the law, right? Okay, so we'll go to the next sloka. Who wants to read? 15. Okay, Arjun, you want to read?
Sure, I can read. Do you want me to read the Sanskrit also or from the
I can
English?
read for you. You can repeat after me. Okay.
Yeah.
Emam gyatva kritam karma
Evam gyatva kritam karma
urvairapi mumukshvi
purvairapi mumukshubhi
guru karmaiva tasmat tvam
guru karmaiva tatsmatvam
purve purtaran kritam.
purvai purvataram kritam.
You can read this.
All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Purport. There are two classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their hearts, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for both of these persons. Those who are full of dirty things can take to the line of Krishna consciousness for a gradual cleansing process, following the regulative principles of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in the same Krishna consciousness so that others may follow in their exemplary activities and thereby be benefited. Foolish persons or neophytes in Krishna consciousness often want to retire from activities without having knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Arjuna's desire to retire from activities on the battlefield was not approved by the Lord. One need only know how to act. To retire from the activities of Krishna consciousness and to sit aloof, making a show of Krishna consciousness, is less important than actually engaging in the field of activities for the sake of Krishna. Arjuna is here advised to act in Krishna consciousness, following in the footsteps of the Lord's previous disciples, such as the sun god Vivaswan, as mentioned herein before. The Supreme Lord knows all his past activities, as well as those of persons who acted in Krishna consciousness in the past. Therefore, he recommends the acts of the sun god, who learned this art from the Lord some millions of years before. All such students of Lord Krishna are mentioned here as past liberated persons engaged in the discharge of duties allotted by Krishna.
Thank you. So Krishna is giving referral, Somebody can say, how can he believe what he is saying? So he's saying, oh, you can refer to sun god Vibhashwan or Ichwaku or Manu. Ask them how did they experience this, what I'm telling you. So Krishna is giving reference. Referral is not, referencing is not an old, new thing. Always when there is doubt, you refer to someone who has experience, right? So that's what's happening here.
Prabhuji, you are not audible.
Can you hear me? Now can you hear me, Mandaji?
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe Nagrani Mataji should rejoin. Something is with your device. Just rejoin. I think that may help you. So let's read the 16. Who wants to read? Ram, you want to read?
Yeah, I will.
Yes.
Yeah. Kim karma kim akarmiti kavyapya atra mohita tat tate karma pravakshasmi yad chanvita mokshase subhat. Translation. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which shall be liberated from all misfortune. Purport. Action in Krishna consciousness has to be executed in accord with examples of previous bona fide devotees. This is recommended in 15th verse, which why such actions such should not be independent will be explained in the text to follow. To act in Krishna's consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in line of disciplic succession as explained in the beginning of this chapter. The system of Krishna's consciousness was first narrated to the sun god. The sun god explained it to his son Manu. Manu explained it to his son Ikshvaku, and the system is current on this earth from that very remote time. Therefore, one has to follow in the steps of previous authorities in the line of disciplic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent man will be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna's consciousness. For this reason, the Lord decided to instruct Arjuna in Krishna's consciousness directly. Because of the direct instruction of Lord to Arjuna, one who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna is certainly not bewildered. It is said that one cannot ascertain the way of religion simply by imperfect experimental knowledge. Actually, the principles of religion can only be laid down by the Lord Himself. Dharmamuthu saksad Bhagavat Puranitam. Bhagavad Gita 6.3.19th verse. No one can manufacture a religion principles by imperfect speculation. One must follow in the footsteps of great authorities like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Manu, the Kurmas, Kapila, Prabhu, Bhishma, Sukadeva, Goswami, Yamaraja, Janaka, and Bali Maharaja. By mental speculation, one can explain. I think you are hiding actually. Yeah, sorry, yeah. One must follow the, sorry, one cannot ascertain what religion. Oh, I missed. Okay, by mental speculation, uh, Kapila, Prahalada, Bhishma, Sukadeva, Goswami, Yamaraja, Janaka, and Bali Maharaja. By mental speculation, one cannot ascertain what is religion or self realization. Therefore, out of causeless mercy to his devotees, Lord explains directly to Arjuna what action is and what inaction is. Only action performed in Krishna's consciousness can deliver a person from entanglement of material existence.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So it's like, suppose if, same example, suppose if you now want to learn C language, C++, right? Your language, computer language. So there are so many books, right? There's so many books written on that topic or that subject. But just by taking book, you may not able to understand. First of all, you need to know which language you will learn computer language. So somebody should recommend you that, oh, based on this, I think this is the most important thing. And then even if you know that, you have to find a book. And now you need a teacher. Why you need a teacher? Even if you have a book, you need a teacher, an instructor, or someone who can tell you how to understand that book or how to understand that language. Why? Why you need a teacher? What do you think? Why you need a teacher? Even if you have a book, you know what to learn, but you need a teacher.
Because it is different language.
Yeah, but the book is written already. The book is detailing everything. It's just written there.
Perspectives might be different, the way you are gaining the knowledge.
Yeah. Yes.
Guru is needed to explain everything, Prabhuji.
Why? That's what the question.
Teacher
We
takes
cannot understand everything, whatever is written in the books. We
Yes. So
need
you're saying to
explanation.
clarify, it's like more of like a supplementary book,
yes
like a
for
supplement.
for clarification. Whatever is
Yes,
written in the book, we can't understand everything. Teacher
For
takes us
yes.
from dark. Teacher takes us from darkness to light. Okay, this is right and this is wrong in the book.
oh, in the book also there could be wrong, right? That but
That
books are
depends
limited.
upon the book. No? That depends upon the
Yeah.
book and the writer. That depends
Yes,
upon
yes, that's true. That's true.
that
Sometimes you
depends upon
remember.
the book and the writer. But
Yes,
if you have
agree.
any problem and you don't understand, teacher makes us to understand that.
Yes, Mataji. Very nice. Thank you. So you remember sometimes we used to study a book and then our teachers will say only read this chapter from this book because this chapter are the best given in this book. Rest other chapters you can read from other book in your syllabus. You remember that? Did you ever did that? Like you just choose on your from your syllabus which book you want to read. Even the books may be written on the same subject, but you choose a chapter from a specific books to read. I did that during my masters. They just don't, because my teacher used to say, or someone my senior said, oh, this book has the best written chapter for this topic, this book has this chapter written best. So that's correct. What else you need? Second, the most important, you need someone in person who can relate you everything written in the book because they have experienced those knowledge which is written in the book. They have that experience. They know C++ language. They know how to it is being used. They know something beyond, and then you need that experience, isn't it? You need someone you can refer to, as Mataji was saying, correct? Because unless that is done, the knowledge is imperfect. Because you may always doubt, oh, I may be missing something which is not written in the book, right? Because there is always, but if your teacher says, oh, this book is perfect, I have done it. This is my whole life. I am the professor of this topic. You accept it. Oh yeah, you are professor because you have done so many things. You have passed. You have led so many students pass through this course. I can trust you. I trust you more than the book, isn't it? That's the experience. Why? Because so similarly, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Arjuna, I told this knowledge to Vivashwan, who is 120 million year old. So you're doubting me. So therefore, I'm referring you to everyone. Go and learn from them also. Because I don't want you to just become a blind to me. Just because you are my friend and deity, you don't be blind. You learn from authorities. Who are the authorities in Vedic knowledge? Who are the authorities? Here the list is given 12 Mahajans. Who is there? Brahma, starting with Lord Brahma. Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada, Manu, Kumaras, Kapila, Prahalad, Bhishma, Shukadeva Goswami, Yamaraj, Janaka, Bali Maharaj. They are the Nobel laureates in their life. Nobel Prize winners. The Krishna has created these 12 people, and you can learn from their life. What do they think about Bhagavad Gita? That's what Krishna is referring. And now he's gonna personally, and even if you don't understand, then Krishna is personally clarifying that even I'm telling you, but it's always to cross verify things. Even science, in science, every word, every sentence we speak, we refer it to some article previously published. We don't just say things. We always referencing. That's why in writing manuscript or publication, you do referencing. Why? Because you have to give previous evidence where it was applied, where it was produced, where the knowledge came from, what are the limitations, what are the experience, isn't it? We have so many scientists here, from scientific background. So when you write publication, that's why you do referencing, right? That you want to show that your what you're
Uh,
writing is not your own. Correct?
just one small question. So, Bhishma here refers to the same Bhishma in Mahabharata. That's the same
Yes.
Bhishma.
Yes.
But That is the Gita is being revealed during the events, right? Like, how does Bhishma already know the Gita if this is where he's telling it?
No. He's saying not Gita. What are the intricacies of action? Very hard to understand before that, if you see. So he's saying knowing what is action in action is very hard because Arjuna was confused whether I should fight or not fight. Right? So Krishna is telling even most intelligent person get bewildered to know what to do, what not to do. In whole life, we also get puzzled whether I should do it or not should do it. That's why we consult people, consultant, so many advisors, so in every field, right? So these people, Bhisma and these Bali Maharaj, all these are great authorities in Vedic knowledge to know what is right or what is wrong. They have lived their life and they know everything because Brahma created this material world. He knows the best. Bhisma was contemporary, but Bhisma, that's his one birth, but he has many more births like Arjuna previously. So it's not Krishna is not talking about few thousand years. He's talking of millions of years of history of these people. They appear in every millennium, and it's like every millennium. So which is one millennium is one one yuga. Okay, so they come in every yuga in different form, and in during the Mahabharata time, Bhishma was the grandfather of uh, Kaurava, is the body of Bhishma. But the Bhishma is like a what do you call position. It's like a position. So anyway, a living entity can take up that position if you reach to that qualification. So even Lord Brahma, do you know Lord Brahma is a position? It is not that it is like one person. Brahma is a position. So any living entity, when they acquire that much power and knowledge empowered by Krishna, they can become Brahma. And we all have been once Brahma in our life. Can you imagine? At some point, we all were one time Brahma. This is what Krishna will tell you in upcoming. Every one of us. But because we fall down from our qualification, we became ordinary living entities now in US or India or anywhere. But these are all positions. Remember, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Shiva, Manu, Kumaras, Kapila. These are our positions. Every living entity can take up these positions. When the Yamaraj, Janaka, all these are authorities. Is that clear? So it's not a person, it is a position. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Yes. So this keeps on changing. Like you elect a prime minister. So Krishna elects based on which living entity will get that position to act. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Last sloka for today. Who wants to read? Because time, I know it's morning for India. So we'll read this one. Everybody's thinking what to do. Anybody should read, or you want me to read? Sarvesh Prabhu, are you available to read?
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Go ahead, you read.
Just wait. Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes.
कर्माणि अपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणा अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गति. The action should I only purport?
Translation and purport, both.
Hare Krishna is share screen in a proper way. I am not able to see. Yes, the intricacies of actions.
I will re-share Prabhuji for you. Okay.
Okay.
Try now. Okay, can you see now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you.
Cannot hear you.
Messages of actions are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Purport: if one is serious about liberation from material bondage, one has to understand the distinctions between action, inaction, and unauthorized actions. One has to apply oneself to such an analysis of actions, reactions, and perverted actions because it is very difficult subject matter. To understand Krishna consciousness and action according to its modes, one has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. Like one who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of Lord and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. The entire Bhagavad Gita is directed toward the conclusion. This conclusion, any other conclusion against this consciousness and its attendant actions are the karmas or prohibited actions. To understand all this, one has to associate with authorities in Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is as good as learning from the Lord directly. Otherwise, even the most intelligent person will be bewildered. Hare Krishna. Vijay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So it's the same way. Like suppose if you want to learn genetics. So who is the father of genetics? Anybody knows? Or father of economics? Who is the father of economics? You can Google, no harm. Who is father of economics?
Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. Okay. So if somebody wants to learn economics, it's best to learn from Adam Smith, right? Who is the best teacher then? He's the best teacher, right? Or you learn from someone who has learned from Adam Smith. That's the second best option, right? The second best is that you learn from someone who learned from the father of economics. Correct? That's only two best option. So if you want to know what is good in economics and what is bad in economics, the best to learn from him, because he's the so-called modern father, right? Likewise, if we want to know how should we act, then we should first consult who created me, because I don't know, because I am created, so I need to learn from one who created me. So you go to your father, mother, thinking they are creator. So if you ask your father, mother what to do, what not to do, they are your best consultant in most of time. Like they have seen you grown, they are your well wisher, so they try to give you best advice based on their capacity and knowledge. But if you ask them, so my father and mother, who created you? They will say, oh, my father, mother is another one. They created me. If you likewise follow the trail and keep on asking, next person, oh, who is your father, grandfather, great grandfather, great grandfather, great grandfather? You don't know how many lineages you will go back, and then you will reach ultimately to whom? Lord Brahma. Because Lord Brahma created everything as per Vedic knowledge. As according to Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma is the original creator of this cosmic manifestation. And if you go and ask Lord Brahma, my dear Lord Brahma, who created you? Oh, he will say, oh, I'm created by Vishnu. Vishnu's navel. I came out of Vishnu's navel. And if you go to ask my dear Vishnu, who created you? He will say, I'm created by Mahavishnu. If you go and ask Mahavishnu, who created you? He will say, oh, I'm created by Shankarshana, Janardhan, Pradimna, so many forefathers. Forefathers. If you go ask them, who created you? They'll say, oh, I'm created by Baladeva, Shankarshan. And if you ask and go ask Baladeva and Sankarshan, who created you? He'll say, "Oh, I'm coming from Krishna. I'm the expansion of Krishna." So if you follow the trail, ultimately you reach to the destination. So Krishna is saying, if Krishna is giving instruction, that's why Bhagavad Gita is so valuable in modern times, because it is the knowledge which is 120 million year old, but is still current. Whatever is said in Bhagavad Gita, you can experience even as of today. Doesn't matter what language, what culture, what country, what age, what gender you come from. That's why Bhagavad Gita is read by almost every country, every language. People read this. It's not that only Hindu read it. That's why Bhagavad Gita is translated over 900 versions in 200 plus languages of the world. Can you imagine any book which has so many languages translation? I don't think so. Even Bible doesn't have it. Even the Bible is most distributed read book in the world. Do you know that? But that also not written in so many languages, right? Because Bhagavad Gita is like a concentrated juice of knowledge. It's not a religious book. Again and again say it's a great science to understand, just to know what is action in an action. What should I do? What should I not do in life? Very important to learn from Bhagavad Gita, because that will give you a eternal principle. It gives you principles. It's like constitution. Article 1, article 2, article 3, article 4, article 5. It's a constitution. So if you know the constitution, you can apply the constitution in situations. Likewise, every sloka of Bhagavad Gita is a constitutional article. You can understand like that. So if you remember these constitution article, you can apply where it applies, in what situation in my it can be applied. Okay. And the case study of these every article of this Bhagavad Gita constitution is Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam, which is 18,000 slokas, Bhagavad Gita is just 700 sloka. Bhagavatam is 18,000 sloka, and sometime it is get quoted. When you see it's quoted, referred in when we read this text, that is the case study of these Bhagavad Gita slokas. Where does it get applied? How does you apply in life? That's a Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is 18,000 slokas. And Bhagavad Gita is just 700 sloka, which is summary of Bhagavatam almost. And it has more than Bhagavatam, because Krishna says that it is included everything what you can find in any Vedas out there in the world, in any Vedic knowledge, and it has everything which you may not find anywhere else in the world. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is so much read. And now we are at juncture where we are learning. We are going to learn what should we do, what should we not do, and what is action, what is an action, and what is forbidden action. Okay. So I would request all of you. Now we have changed the timing. Please try to join regularly. Otherwise, it would be very hard for you to follow up, because the Bhagavad Gita is kind of moving, switching things. And since a lot of things are technical here, so you may be finding difficulty if you join sometime. So I would request you try to join every session. Even if you can join 30-minute, 20-minute, whatever, at least you will get a glimpse of this discussion. Okay. So I'll stop speaking here. Anybody has any questions, comments, we can discuss. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Uh, I have a question. Please describe inaction. How to understand we are doing inaction?
That's the next session, Prabhuji. I don't want to jump, I'm
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
but Krishna is going to tell you. And
Okay,
Prabhupada
thank
will
you.
explain it. So let's keep that secret. What is inaction,
Okay,
what is action, and what is forbidden action? And we'll discuss with example from Srila Prabhupada's purport.
okay.
Yes, that's very interesting. So Anybody else have any question from today's discussion? No? Okay. All right. So again, I'll thank all of you for joining, and I'll request you keep join every week. It would be nice. We finish now in 1 hour, maximum 1 hour 5 minutes. So you can be sure that we'll finish on time. Will not take you much time. Okay. Okay. Maybe you can switch on camera. At least I can see once your face. That'd be nice. Just in Friday night, right? Or Saturday morning. In US, Friday night. We are now in happy Friday mood. Yeah, nice to see Arjun, Sarvesh Prabhuji ready to go. Ready to go office, Prabhuji? You're muted.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I will go after 8:30.
Okay. Okay.
There
No.
is the time.
Yes. So thank you. And nice to see Ram. I see Ram. Oh, I
Yeah.
see that. Yes. How are you? Ice is still there in St. Louis?
Yeah, it's like snowstorm was there like last week.
Yeah.
Now they are less.
California is burning and St. Louis freezing. And the Boston is raining.
It's totally different weather, three different seasons.
Right, Arjun? Next door, like Los Angeles is burning, right?
Yeah, I'm in Oregon, so yeah, I'm far away from it.
Yeah,
It's
in Seattle, that's that side, right?
it always rains here, so
Okay. Yeah, the California is very burning the whole city almost.
yeah, LA is really
Such a beautiful place, but because of climate,
Yeah.
no rain. Because of no rain, it's all burning. And it is predicted in Bhagavad Gita. I will read in the next chapters. When the people become very impious or sinful, then rain stops. And when rain stops, what is sinful pious means? They are harming the environment. They're just sinful. They're destroying everything. They're killing animals. They're harming the plants. The environment, killing the whole planet. The rain will stop, and with the rain stopping, everything will dry up and start burning. So three things happen. Bhagavad Gita says, firing will happen anyways. Famine, because there is no rain, there is no food, because the food grains will not grow without rain. Famine, war, and pestilence. War is anyways happening. The whole Middle East and Europe is burning with the war. Every day there is a lot of plane crashes happening nowadays. Here, one in Russia, Tajikistan, last week, 200 people died in crash. Recently, one happened in Korea, South Korea, airlines crash. So people are dying, and South Africa is famine. People hungry. Sudan, uh, these countries in even in South America and South Africa, people dying out of need of money, not money, the water and food. No, there is no clean water, no clean food, no food at all. They're just dying. The Gaza and then Ukraine and then Yemen, whatnot. So much if you see. So this is because it's mass karma. You'll see. You'll learn in Bhagavad Gita. Mass karma. When it's not like one person is going to kill, it will like almost whole population is wiped out. Whole Middle East is wiped out. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, almost finished. Like the whole country is wiped off. Right. So we see all these global effects. Therefore, we should learn. We cannot save everyone, but we can at least save myself, right? First save myself and then save others, right? So that is why this knowledge is important, because once we know, we can get aware and lead life nicely. All right,
At
so no
last
more.
2 years in San Diego, in California, it was
Yeah,
raining like anything.
yeah, it was raining, but it rains
After
where
we
where
came
it is
back,
not needed. It's like it rains in Mumbai and Hyderabad, but not in the villages where the where the farming happens. The cities are
Yes,
getting
yes.
flooded and the villages are drying.
Yes,
Drought.
yes.
Yeah, that's another mismanagement. Lord Indra is mismanaging the whole thing. He's not happy.
Yeah, as you said, it's because of mass karma.
Yeah, mass karma. The COVID was mass karma. People will kill
Yeah.
even if they don't. You know, mass karma when this pandemic and pestilence is called pandemic, famine, drought, wars. In war in Ukraine or Russia, it's not like the selective killing. There's killing Lebanon. The Israel wiped out the whole city of Lebanon, the country of Lebanon in 20 days. Just wiped off the whole city. I mean, they did. All were not enemy of Israel, right? But because it's mass karma, what you can do. The Middle East, the whole Syria, the whole country wiped off, the whole Afghanistan. So that's why we should be very careful who is our leader and whom we are aspiring and following, because the leaders do mistake and public suffer. It's like our CEO does some mistake and the employees suffer. The layoff happens to employees, not the CEO. The CEO is still sitting there. But the layoff is like, okay, we have reduced our workforce by this percent because we have a loss. But whose mistake? Oh, CFO did some wrong decision. CEO did some wrong decision. But the suffering is the employees. Oh, you find a new job. Sorry, no, we don't have money. But the employee did not take a lot of money and run out of money. The company ran out of money not because employee took the money, because the leaders make wrong decisions. But we take karmas, we go through it. So we need to, because many times we get puzzled. Why me? I did not do any mistake. I was very good employee. I was very best, but why I got laid off? Why? Because it's not that you. Because sometimes we start judging myself. Oh, maybe I'm not good. Maybe I don't know how to communicate. Maybe I'm not a favorite person. Oh, I was not able to manage. With self doubt. But when you understand the big picture, then you understand, oh man, no, every time not I am wrong. It just mass karma, it comes from someone else decision making. It's not me. Because of nowadays, I'm telling you, because even when I had job problem, the same thing. You start self doubting of your own ability because we don't know the big picture. Why me, right? Why me? Same thing. A lot of things in life. Why me? Why me? This hits when we go through challenge in life, right? So, but if you know the big picture, then you're like, okay, you can logic out, you can understand. All right. All right. So thank you so much. I'll take the leave and happy weekend. Happy Friday. Happy Saturday in India. Hopefully that's the last day of the week to work. In
Yeah,
US, it's last day.
for Telugu states, Pongal is we are going to celebrate.
Happy Pongal. Yes. Happy
Thank you.
Pongal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And see you all next week. Okay. Next week, I'm in Monday, US, and Tuesday, India.
Yes.
Tuesday morning, Monday night is US. And Monday is not a lot of work pressure. Monday is like a relax. And Friday also people get relaxed after 3, 4. Like depends on who is your manager. Some managers are crazy. Yeah. Okay. So everyone is
Okay,
good. We can stop here.
yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Bhagavad Gita
Hare
ki jai.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
After me. Vancha kalptaruvasya cha kripa sindhuvye cha patitam pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo namo. Jai Shri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda,
Nityananda,
Shri
Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara, Sri
Sri
Vasadi Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank
I'll end here.
you. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.